Yo, what's going on? Sorry I'm late. I was on a production call with my 9 to 5 job. But we're here. I can't, well, I'm glad to have gotten out of that because that was, ugh. Welcome on into a strategy video, a DFS strategy video for the 2025 Worldwide Technology Champion. Worldwide. Reminds me of Step Brothers. We're going to cover all things required to target the optimal lineup this week. We'll be doing so by going into the website called SweetSpotDFS.com, where you guys can go and become users. Go check it out. There's some cool things that I've added since the last time we spoke. You probably won't see them. But yeah, I'll be showcasing that throughout this video. We'll be talking about which golfers to play. I'll be building lineups at the end of this video. If you want to check out everything I'm covering, look at the timestamps below. If you're here with me live, welcome on in. You kind of already know the things that I will be covering. So, actually, I was going to say, without further ado, let's get into this. But I do want to talk about, or actually, let's talk about giveaways really quick. If you want an entry into any of the giveaways that I ever do, just participate on the channel. Participate on any way, any shape, way, form you can. You will get entries. The ways that you guys can participate are commenting on any of my videos, being here during roll calls when I give roll calls during my live streams. I reward you for participating on this channel. I reward you for watching. So yeah, those are how you get entries. We do weekly and monthlies. I will be doing a monthly giveaway today, as well as a weekly giveaway. So, you know, if your name's called, reach out to me, let me know that you won, and I will, one, give you $5 cash if you're the weekly winner. If not, if you're the monthly winner, you get a free membership to SweetSpotDFS.com. Okay. The other giveaway that I'm doing kind of ties into all of this. It's all about trying to grow the channel. If we can get up to 1,000 subscribers on this channel, I will give out $1,000 worth of giveaways. That includes 2 memberships to SweetSpotDFS.com. One's going to be a lifetime, and trust me, I will be doing this for as long as I possibly can. I don't know what life entails for me, but this is one of my passion projects. I don't see this going anywhere soon. So with that being said, you guys can also become lifetime members just by paying the, what's $5.99 for becoming a lifetime. Some people charge that for annual memberships on websites that are okay, but not as great as mine. Not as great as SweetSpotDFS.com. So go check it out. Again, it's pretty, I don't know, I think it's pretty cheap. But also I will be giving away 2 $100 cash giveaways on this giveaway. So again, we get closer to 1,000 subscribers. Wonderful. Once that does happen, I will do the giveaway. Okay, just to show you, we have a few entries. We had 17. Oh, that's the monthly. I'm sorry. We had 7 weekly entries. So let's go ahead and run this right now. This was for the Black Desert Championship, which was 2 weeks ago, by the way. We had a week off. Now we're going to have like 3 tournaments in a row, and then it's going to be, we're going to be off until, or this PGA Tour season is going to be off until the new year, where they're not playing at the Century, by the way. Just a little heads up, that usually is, you know, the first Sunday after New Year's. They will be going the second weekend in January is when the first event will start, and that'll be the Sony Open. So be cognizant of that, be aware of that. But yeah, let's go ahead and run our weekly giveaway. Drum roll. AJ's in the chat. AJ, you get $5, man. Remind me. You always do. Remind me whenever you, that you've won. All right, congrats, AJ. Well, how many entries did you have? You had 2. And for the monthly giveaway, Nathan Johnson. He is a he's a lifetime member. Nathan Johnson is. So Nathan, let's say this. you can bank, what is it that I usually, I mean, let's just bank 20 bucks. They can go towards merchandise. Yeah, if you're a lifetime member or if you're already a monthly subscriber giveaway winner, since that's a $20 value, I will give you $20 in, say, store credit. I'm not going to be doing $20 of cash. You might be able to convince me on that. I don't know yet. But yeah, yeah, we'll see. Just remember, Nathan, you got $20 that you can store. We can do the gentleman's agreement. I will trust you. If you tell me you have $20 stored, I think I'll remember. If I don't, I will trust you. So anyways, congrats, Nathan. He had one entry, and that was in the Bay Current Championship, which I have marked as the Zozo. Oh, AJ, you were the second winner. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this. I will mention this is a live stream, so I will be talking to people that are in chat. AJ's in chat right now. He wasn't able to join during the Bank of Utah Championship, which I called the Black Desert Championship. Sorry, I missed last stream 2 weeks ago. I ended up winning $10 with no information. Uh-oh. That just tells you, man, you can do it all on your own. You don't even have to listen to anybody. Glad to be here. Been sad all day because I was planning on going vacation for Thanksgiving, but today got notified for jury duty. Hey man, maybe the jury duty will cancel. It canceled on me. And you are welcome. Congrats. I don't really plan on spending a lot of time talking about this tournament. We can get to building lineups. It could be a very short stream, could be a very long stream. It depends on participation in the chat. But the first thing we're going to talk about are the the golf course and tournament information. All right, you can follow along with me. This is SweetSpotDFS.com. If you go into the Fantasy Tools Golf Course Stats, you will come to this page. Just make sure you have the tournament as Worldwide Technology Championship, and the golf course needs to be El Cardinal at Diamante. So if you do not have those things in there, you will have the wrong tournament, you'll have the wrong golf course. I should have this loaded when you go and check it out, but for whatever reason, if you have something saved on this page, that's the only way that you might not get that update. But if you were to come here, refresh the page, it should show up as Worldwide Technology and El Cardinal at Diamante. So I believe this golf course started in 2024, I want to say. No. 2023 is when they moved to this golf course. The architect is Tiger Woods. Other golf courses that Tiger has been an architect of, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. I'm not positive off the top of my head. I thought Hero World Challenge would be one of them, but I don't think he was the I don't think he's the architect there. Could be wrong, could be right, I'm not sure. But 2023, 2024, that's where you're gonna have course history. So anything that I talk about as course history in this video, consider it tournament history. It's been in Mexico since forever. The tournament, my data goes back to 2013. It's been in Mexico ever since 2013. However, the difference between this the location of this golf course versus the last golf course, which again was what, El Camaleon? Yeah, El Camaleon, is that they're on the different coasts of Mexico. So one was on the west coast, one was on the east coast. That's where you're gonna get your differences. The golf courses are a bit different too, but pretty similar. They both have paspalum grass on the golf course, and if you're going to use grass stats, use paspalum. I did forget to mention that you can also check out the cheat sheet that I have by going under Fantasy Tools, going to cheat sheet. I'm going to open it up for you guys. I finally made the updates to the cheat sheet to make it look visibly pleasing. So I went in here and added all the conditional formatting. So the top part is updated. Scrolling down though, you will get the Google Sheet where the cheat sheet is. Now, I'm only mentioning this because typically if you follow along with me, you will find that I normally have grass stats filled in. I do not, because when the spreadsheeting portion of putting all of this together is different from the database stuff that I do. So database is just you enter the data in, and then you get to use the reporting tools that come with whatever software that you use. That will display the information you want. When you spreadsheet, you're copying and pasting and keeping them on different spreadsheets. You're not really pulling in. I mean, that's the way I do it. Other people do it differently. Instead of my spreadsheets being very, very large, they're very small in comparison to other people. And then I just copy and paste, pull in with VLOOKUPs and stuff like that. So I don't have them for PassPalm. I never recorded PassPalm stats. I mean, a separate spreadsheet for PassPalm stats. That's because I do that for Bentgrass. I do that for Bermuda. I do that for POA. But I don't do it for PassPalm. I don't do it for Ryegrass. So therefore, on this cheat sheet, if you are familiar with it and you're expecting to see grass stats on there, you're not going to have them for PassPalm. Now that I said that, you can also use this this cheat sheet. Again, go to the website, find the cheat sheet, scroll down to the bottom, and then click here. Click that little button right there, and that will pull up the Google Sheet for you. You can also follow along on the spreadsheet. I mean, it's very doable. There are a lot of things you can still click on. If I said on the website, it's just not as dynamic. It's more dynamic in Google Sheets because that's where I created it. It's not bad here. You certainly can use that. But also, any of the tools that I have, whatever you click on. If, say, I go to historic salary builds, on the pane over to the left, you have a filter pane. You can click under grass, and under grass, we can choose PassPalm for fairway grass. We can also choose PassPalm for green grass, and that will put on a ton of filters that will filter out data that you don't want to see. So if you are going to research, which golfers are good on PassPalm, obviously apply the grass stats that go with it. Now, of course, if you want to remove all of the filters, I have a little eraser button here. You just click that and they're all gone. But that was just a friendly reminder when it comes to using grass stats on the website. On the cheat sheet, there are none. And that's fine. This is a very low strength of field event. I mean, I think I saw somewhere on PGAtour.com that it was Garrick Higgo is leading the field this week. That was before I saw the DraftKings roster, and then I saw Ben Griffin was in it. I was like, if Garrick Higgo's the top guy heading into this event must suck this year. And we'll go over it. We'll compare it to other years, but yeah, it's not a very strong field, and it's fine not having PassPalm grass. That's kind of what I'm getting to. It's fine not having that on the spreadsheet, trying to figure things out. We're really pulling in recent form, a little bit of course history, more tournament history, but yeah. It's kind of, I mean, researching for this event, I think it's fine because if you think about these fall series events, the same golfers tend to be here. You don't see Scotty Scheffler here. You don't see Justin Thomas here. You don't see Jordan Spieth here. Although they have been here at different times in their careers, once they change us to a fall season event where golfers who have not yet qualified for next season's PGA Tour season, they're trying to solidify their status for next year at these fall season events. So using tournament history is going to be just fine. If you want to use course history, that's going to be just fine, because they when this golf course started hosting this event, that is when the fall series events or fall series kind of began. So Whatever you want to use, I think that's fine. And again, you can use a lot of the same stuff on the website. You can use similar golf courses, apply those to your filters, apply the grass stats to your filters. It'll work out just fine. Now, also what I have on this golf course stats page are there shot shapes that matter, and I guess I didn't really map it out. So I guess we're gonna forget about that. My bad. Fall series event, I don't really do a huge job digging into this, but I also didn't notice that I had not populated that. So that's something I'll have to do in the future, because that's not a good look. Anyways, yeah, let's move on. That's the golf course. The tournament, I'm gonna use the cheat sheet for the tournament. Actually, I gotta use my sheet just to compare. We gotta go to my sheet. And this year's strength of field is 163. If we compare that to last year's strength of field, that was 98. So actually we're a little bit stronger this year than last year. The year before that was 138, and 2023 it was 291. Holy, yeah, Scotty Scheffler was in the field. That was before it went to the fall series events. 2024 is when it started. So yeah, when it really went to this fall series event, that's when the big guys left. Oh my God, 356 in 2022. So, okay, so it's stronger than last year's, stronger than 2024, but it's, oh, I'm sorry. I have these are, they're numbered wrong. The years are wrong because in the past, these used to go to the next season, and that's how I had numbered them, is by seasons, not by years. So this is 2023. Last year was 2024. 2023, 2022. Yeah, and 2022 is when Scotty was here. So yeah, when it turned to the fall series event, that's when the strength of field really took a dip. Yeah. Okay. So I guess 2020, yeah. I'm just gonna use like somewhere between 120 to actually 100 to 160 is fine. No. I'm already going back on it. 120. I'll go 120 to 180. 120 to 180. So if you are going in and you're using any of the tools, if you click on the tournament stats filter, the little podium right there, you can scroll down to strength of field down here. And if you want to filter out, you know, events that do not fall within the strength of field, like I said, 120, I'm using the strength of field old, to 180. If you filter out by that, we close this up, and then we look at this top bracket, at least for this tool. You can see all the rounds of golf that these golfers have played under that strength of field. I'm going to change the date field also to 2024, and I want this to be, let's go 11-1. So one full year's worth of data, 11-1-2024 to pretty much present day. And you will get all the events that these golfers have been on. You can stretch it out more if you want, but if you want to see who the best golfers are with the strokes gained total, you get the Bank of Utah winner, Michael Brennan, with 1 tournament's worth of data that he won. So his average of 4.45 or 4.045 strokes gained total, you could ignore that. I mean, 4 rounds of golf isn't a lot, especially when you've won. And then what? Garrett Kigo finished second in that event. So this could be a bit skewed. And if you wanted to, I mean, again, play around with the filters however you want to. I'm actually going to go before that win and just see who our best golfers are with that strokes gained total. You get Stephen Fisk. Stephen Fisk didn't play super great at the Bank of Utah, but hey, at $7,500, that might not be a bad choice. Mac Hughes, same thing. I mean, Mac Hughes thrives under these events. I can't remember if he played well at this event, or maybe I might be mixing that up with the Sanderson Farms, because I know he won the Sanderson Farms before. He played well at this event at some point in time. I'm gonna check the results out. Just looking at the top 10s here. I'm probably misremembering. Yeah, that's... Oh, here he is. There he is. Mac Hughes, 7th. In 2024. So, you know, just looking at the strokes gain matrix up here, not a bad choice. Mac Hughes, $7,600. Seems pretty decent. Then you get a couple of other guys. Johnny Kiefer, he's an up-and-comer. He's supposed to be... I wouldn't say the next... He's supposed to be the next good young golfer to come into the tour. Let's put it that way. Him, Michael Brennan, those guys are supposed to be somewhat decent. Yeah. So, Ben Griffin is up there, which is lovely to see, because if he's going to have that $10,500 price tag, we kind of want to see that he plays well at you know, these types of strength of field events. So I like that with Ben Griffin. And then, I mean, you guys play around with it. It's just me showing you guys how to filter out, you know, or how to use the filters on the website to find golfers that you want to play. So that's the strength of field. If we were to look at, you know, past results, minus 24-1 here last year, while minus 27-1 in 2024. And I believe, yeah, in 2023. I'm sorry, gosh. Again, these are seasons, they're not years. This is actually 2024. I'm so sorry. 2023, 2022. So they started playing at this golf course in 2023. So Russell Henley at 23 under. That was El Camaleon. Was not... Man, I already forgot the golf course name. Something de Monte. Yeah. El Cardinal de Monte. Yeah, 2022 is El Camaleon. All right. Sorry for the mix up there. So, we're looking at high scoring, and I don't see it any different. I haven't looked at the weather, so I couldn't tell you, you know, based off of weather, if it's going to actually be as high as I anticipate it being, or if it's going to be, or as low as I anticipate it being, versus if it's going to be a higher score. I still think like minus 24 to minus 26 seems like a safe bet, considering the last 2 years hit that mark pretty easy. And one easy way to figure that out too, by the way, some people are just looking at the winning score and being like, oh yeah, that's an obtainable whatever. Look at the other, like, 2nd to 10th place, basically. Are those scores pretty close to getting to 23, 24, 25 under? Yeah. I mean, not so much last year versus the year before, but remember last year had a strength of field that was 98, whereas in 2024 or 2023 the strength of field was 138. This year it's 164. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I think the score to get to minus 24 is going to be pretty easy. Okay. That is the golf course and tournament information. I'm not reviewing the Bank of Utah Championship. I did not have Michael Brennan. I saw he was like 12% owned, and that was pretty crazy. Because, one, I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't even know who the guy was. Like, I to be 12% owned, that must mean other people knew who he was. Other sites must have known. Other podcasters must have known. I didn't do my homework on Michael Brennan. So, that's my bad. I should be better at that stuff. Fall series kind of makes you a little lazy at times. I've been working a lot on the website. Data. If I know your name's Mike. I can't think. Oh, Vegas Fitzy. I'm working on ownership. Working on showing you what the cumulative ownership is. I'm also, if you apply it to some of my reports, the ownership piece to it, I can show you what the cumulative ownership will be by selecting certain golfers. So let me show you that really quickly. And we're going to actually go into these pages anyways. But I have said this before. I've shown you guys this before. I don't know if you guys have ever, like, you know, really looked into it. But if I were to put like the Worldwide Technology Championship into the tournament and we select last year, 2024, if you use the control button or command button on your keyboard, depending on what computer you have, if you hold that down and you left click on golfers' names, right up here, right above my head, let's see. Yeah, right above my head, you see in the red font over there, it says total salary and total points. So I selected Austin Eckroat. He was $7,800. He scored 146 points. So what you can do with this is you can select other golfers by holding control and left clicking. So I'm going to check Max Grazerman because he's 10,000, Mav McNeely because he's 93, Sam Stevens because he's 87, and you can see that the salary and the points are going up. I believe I probably need a $6,500 golfer, and I have room for 73. So Carson Young, there we go. So I've just selected 6 golfers. Doesn't show you that 6 golfers are selected, but obviously I know I clicked on 6 golfers. Total salary 49,900, total points 741. Off to the side, I can actually put cumulative ownership there as well to show you what the cumulative ownership was for your lineup. I know a lot of people care about that. I personally don't, but it's not to say I won't build it for you guys. One of the lifetime members wanted it to be on this page, which I will provide. It will be another column. These are pretty spread out, so I can actually shrink these a little bit, showing you guys the information. So like I could do something like this, make it a little scrunched in, and then I can show you cumulative ownership like right here, right where this little, right after the min salary right there. So I could do that pretty easy. Spread these out just a little bit just to make it look more visually appealing. Okay. So anyways, yeah, I'm working on adding that. I did want to add that piece before we move on, just because, again, I'm always working on this thing. Oh, I love this site. This is my baby. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, which is pass optimal. And actually, you know what? It's a live chat. I'm sorry. I see Joanne. Hello, Joanne. AJ says never heard of him. I'm assuming you mean Michael Brennan, the guy who won. Yeah, I'm watching him golf. He's I mean, for that tournament, very good. And you all know I like off the tee. If you're good off the tee, you're always going to be a favorite of mine. Michael Brennan is solid off the tee. Really good off the tee. Yeah, we'll talk more about that. Nice to see you in the chat, Joanne. AJ, nice to always see you too. All right, let's move on. Pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. All right, so again, you can follow along with me at SweetSpotDFS.com. There's a link in the description down below. I'm on historic salary builds as well as past optimal and GPP winning lineups. You can use both of these tools to really focus on which salaries or which it's which salaries matter more at this event. If you're a skeptic as to why salaries matter or not, they're power rankings. I don't know how often I've said this before. I don't know how many people I've talked to. The salaries from DraftKings, they have their own algorithm. They have their own way of calculating the salaries. They don't just give random salaries to people. It is based off of a power ranking. How often do they get the power ranking correct? That's what you can use these tools to determine. You can also just use these tools to see what the most common lineups are for not only GPP winning lineups, but also optimal lineups. And if you want the perfect lineup that's over 49,600, that's called the SweetSpot Optimal. So you can go ahead and filter out whatever information you want to check out what matters most at either an event, at a particular tournament, or a tournament that's like this tournament. So what I mean by that is, we already talked about strength of field in the previous segment. If you put in the strength of field that was 120 to 180, that I said to apply, you can analyze the most common salary builds. You can even go a step further if you use this little target, the little sweet spot target up there. You click on that, you get into the fantasy stats filter. From here, you can determine how much salary or which lineups do you want to look at with how much salary was used. Personally, I don't like to leave more than $400 on the table, so I would check 49,600 all the way up to 50,000 and X out of that. And then I mean, this is good enough for me. Just these filters alone are good enough for me. So what I can look at is the most common lineup build, just using those filters, is 10-9-8-7-7-6, which is no surprise, right? All the people that come to this channel, they all know the jingle. The jingle is to start your lineups with a 10-9-8-7-7-6. Just start there, and then you can make 2 substitutions if you want. You don't have to, you can. But of course, when we look at other lineup builds, we see a 9-9-8-7-7-7. And oh, by the way, if you drill down on any of these salaries, you can also see down in this box which tournaments those salaries belong to. Sometimes you'll see one tournament have multiple lineups in it. That's usually not a good sign to like use for, I guess, if you were creating your own truths, like, what am I trying to say? If you're trying to make your own case for a particular lineup build, that might not be the best way. If one tournament has all the lineup builds, maybe not the greatest lineup to or salary build to use into this week's event, unless the one event that has all the lineups is this one, which basically what I'm trying to get at right now is this 9-9-8-7-7-7. You see the Sanderson Farms Championship there 3 times. Now that's either because this lineup only showed up just, you know, that one time. Obviously it showed up more than that, but yeah, it might not be the greatest thing to look at. So like okay, how I interpret this is 9-9-8-7-7-7. Sure, I see the Byron Nelson twice, Procore once, 2022 Sanderson once, and 2025 Sanderson twice. I'm gonna use that. You know, to me that's like 4 separate instances that it happened. It shows 6, but I'm gonna say that's 4. So I'm not going to make this salary build that important in my eyes. I'm going to drop it down a little bit, but that's not to say it's not, you know, a type of lineup build I'm not going to try to build. I will be trying to build that lineup if the golfers make sense. Okay. As I've been talking right now, in my head, I keep telling myself, well, you wouldn't do that if the golfers didn't fit. And I'm not telling you guys that. So I want you guys to all know all of what I'm saying with the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups is if that particular salary build works with good golfers, you should play those types of salary builds. If you're trying to force in a salary build that does not have good golfers that come with it, don't do that. I think 2 weeks ago at the Bank of Utah Championship, I believe the 10-9-8-7-7-6 lineup was a great, like, it showed up a lot. And actually, how about this? Let's just take a look. What I was getting at is I tried building some of those lineups and they were awful. Like the golfers that I was putting together, I think the 9K range was terrible or the 8K range was terrible. One of those things. All right, so Bank of Utah Championship. Actually, how about we do this? Let's go and look at it this way. Yeah, last year or this year, your GPP winning lineup was a 9-9-9-7-7-6, which is pretty great. Scored 705.5 points. SweetSpot Optimal scored 741, and that was 3 9s, 1 8, and 2 6s. If I get out of all of that, Okay, so the GPP winning lineup scored 705.5. If I were to build a lineup that starts with a 10K golfer, I believe I have to go all the way down here to Michael Thorbjornsson, who scored good points, mind you, scored good points. So I'm just going to select him. We'll go Rico, Brennan. Let's do an $8,600 golfer and a $7,300 golfer, and I have $7,900 to work with. Oh, that doesn't really help me out. How about we go with Billy Horschel at $8,000, and now I have $7,200 to work with. All right, maybe we go 10, 9, 9. And now it's $6,600. So David Ford. Let's just do Justin Lauer. Justin Lauer works out just fine. We're actually 5 points behind first place for GPP, the $5 GPP. So yeah, the 10.98.776 didn't really work. Although this was a 10.99.766. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a 10.99.866. Yeah, there was no real way of building that 10.98.776. Sometimes salaries just don't allow you to do that. If I went 10.98, 73.77, nah, that's leaving too much money on the table. Get rid of him and go Pearson Cootie. This is 49,800. It does not score well. So yeah, maybe it was the 10. Was it the 10K golfers? Were there only 2 10K golfers last week? I think that's probably what it was, right? One way we can check out is this. Oh, there were 3. Mav McNeely, Alex Noren, and Michael Thorbjornsson. A lot of 9K golfers. Yeah, the 9K range did well. So did they care. All right. I said I wasn't going to review the Bank of Utah Championship, and here I am reviewing the Bank of Utah Championship. Okay. Anyways. Going back to pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, I think the first thing I can just do is just type in worldwide technology championship. We'll get a list of all the lineups that have happened since 2017, which is a good chunk of data. And we can see what the most common lineup build is. It's a 10-8 and 4 7s, followed by a 10-10, 2 7s, 2 6s, 10-8, 3 7s and a 6, 10-9, 8, 7, 7, 6. And you can kind of see the rest of them. Also, again, for me, I really only care about salary used. So I told you could use this for quick selection. You can actually get a little bit more fine-tuned with it and change it up here. I'm going to go ahead and just make it 49, just above 49.5. So 49.6 and above. You can see they're all chosen right here. That slims it out just a little bit more. And now you get a 10-10, 2 7s, 2 6s, 10-8, 7 7 7 or 7 7 6, 10-8, 4 7s. So I was right if I would have just kept with that. Then 10-9, 8, 7 7 6. It's a tie at the top. The one constant thing, and this is kind of the beautiful thing about looking at these little individual boxes, 76% or nearly 77% of lineups that I have recorded back to 2017 that use at least $49,600 of the salary and above all use a 10K golfer at least once. All of it use at least once. 76% of the lineups. 100% use 7K golfers. 84% use 8K golfers. This is a weird number. Under 40% use 9K golfers. That is crazy. I'm trying to find it. So there's 1 9 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is it getting that 5th 9? It says there's 5 9K lineups. Oh, they're counting them twice. That's what it is. You got to count these numbers with. I get it. 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 Okay. Do I have a percentage on what lineups cashed money? I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, it sounds very straightforward, but So I think I know what you mean by that, AJ. It's like looking at every single lineup iteration. I would have to keep track of what the minimum. Okay, actually, here I'll give it a different perspective. When you're on DraftKings, if you look at the leaderboard for each contest, it goes like 1 to 500, right? It'll show first place down to 500th place, and then it'll show whatever lineups you have that are not in 500th place. It'll actually show the last lineup to be making money. So it would give you a point total that you could capture, but that would require you to be paying attention. It isn't something you can download, but you'd have to be paying attention to see what that overall number is. And also DraftKings does make modifications. So if you min cash, or let's say you're tied with, 500 people in last place, and it says you're let's say this is for the $1 contest. It says you're winning $1.38. It'll actually round up to $1.40. Like they'll round it up to $1.40. Or if there are way too many people, they actually remove you from winning money. It'll be like, you'll go from like $1.02 to maybe $1, or maybe, actually I can't say that for certain, but I have seen where I'm the min cash guy and I don't get that payout, or at least it doesn't seem like I get the full payout. Anyways, you'd have to be paying attention with your eyeballs. I don't have time for that. I wouldn't, because again, if you download the sheet after the contest has finished, all you do is you just get a list of lineups that were built. And I don't even think they even show I'm not sure they even show the placement that they actually get. You can double check on that. I don't want that one. Do this. Here, let's take a look together. Oh, they do. Okay, they do. They do. But if I were to take, this sheet right here, this is what you download after a tournament has finished. This is the Black, or the Bank of Utah Championship. You can see the entry name. You can see the lineup that was built. So, but if you look at this, if you've ever downloaded data, what do you do with this? Your delimiter, I guess, would be G. So you'd be able to copy and paste this to a separate cell, and then go into data, text to columns, and put a delimiter on there and go to next. Other, can you even put G? Oh, you can. Oh, but then golfers with names that start with G get removed also. So there is no easy way of doing this. I mean, I'm sure I could cook up a way to actually do that, but yeah, it's just, you can't really do anything with this. It'll give you the points, like cut maker, the cut maker, or the cut sweat account on X and his website. Who is it? Sky will post that. They're grabbing this and they're just looking at the iterations. Like they just do a count if, and then they look at the total amount of entries that are in. They do a count if, how many golfers or how many people have, how many people have this lineup, and then they go from there. That's easy to do. It ain't easy to try to figure out which lineup cashed, because you get the full placement all the way down. So you have to keep track of who was in basically the last cashing place. and that's just too much work. Too much work for what it's worth. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to have. But yeah, that's challenging. Yes, what I meant is how many times since 2017 has the bucket system been successful percentage? Are we talking about like the SweetSpot lineup? How many times has the bucket system been successful? I'm also not sure how to answer that question. I truly am not sure how to answer that question. I mean, like, if I use the bucket system for the worldwide technology, I wouldn't have had, if you're talking about like projections, how successful have the projections been since 2017? I don't have that recorded yet either. I definitely have the data for that. Yeah, I guess I don't know how I would show that to you. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. I'll come back. I'll check out the chat later. But anyways, a 10K golfer. Starting with a 10K golfer is probably the way to go this week. Maybe skipping the 9K range, but of course, again, we have to look at the golfers that are in the 10 and 9K range. So if we go and we take a look at our 10K golfers, we have Ben Griffin, JJ Spawn, and Rico Hoey. I have a pretty good feeling that one of those golfers will finish inside the top 10. Ben Griffin, I've said this before, I'll continue to say it until he starts to cool down, has been the hottest golfer not named Scotty Scheffler. And I guess now Tommy Fleetwood, but Tommy Fleetwood's not in the he's not on the field. But Ben Griffin, I mean, if you look at the thumbnail of this video, he's wearing a worldwide technology hat. This is his tournament, man. This is his tournament. And he's upped his game to an elite status, basically. I like Ben Griffin. 10K range, easy to go with. And I don't mind the other two 10K golfers. They're very cheap. You make lineups work pretty easy with them. There are a total of 6 9K golfers. Do we like any of these guys that much? Now, I would say yes, because Grazerman, he's my second ranked golfer in this field. And I mean, he's been on a roll. I do like Max Grazerman. Probably has the best recent form in the field. Michael Thorbjornsen, I want to believe in him. He has no course history, no tournament history at this tournament or this golf course for golf course history. He's a stud, but I just don't know if this is one of those places where the destination becomes more important than the actual tournament. Garrett Kigo, I don't mind Garrett Kigo. I think that's fine. Thorbjorn Olesen. Also no course history, no tournament history. I don't know how to feel about good old Thorbjorn. Kevin Yu I like a lot. Michael Brennan I like a lot. So yeah, 9K range looks pretty solid. Does the 8K range? The 8K range looks awful. Look at this 8K range. You know what's interesting? Pearson Coody at the Black Desert Championship, sorry, the Bank of Utah Championship, he was ranked really high in the 8K range. He was also $8,600 at that event. Not so much this week. The model does not like good old Pearson Coody. That's fine. It does love Nico Echeverria, and I like Nico Echeverria this week. The rest of the 8K range does look terrible. Keith Mitchell, Nick Taylor, actually I don't mind Nick Taylor, and Wyndham Clark, which is a pretty long fall from grace. So 8K range might be the range to skip this week, just based off of name value and compared to the 9K range. But again, yeah, I don't know. Again, this is just filtering out by the Worldwide Technology Championship. You can filter out by other things. You want to use grass stats like Paspalum, like I said before, just use it on the greens for Paspalum. Actually, no, let's do just fairways. Yeah, let's just do fairways with Paspalum. And you'll see 1098776 just reign supreme. 1098766 is next. And I honestly don't mind a 1098776 type of lineup build this week. And we still have our historic salary filters. That's great. Do we still have the... No, nothing on the strength of field. That's good. Yeah, so... I'm kind of digging the 1098776 approach. I think that's a good approach to do. So anyways, you guys can check this out. SweetSpotDFS.com, historic salary builds for that tool, pass optimal and GPP winning lineups for the other tool. Okay, we're done with that segment. Yes, the SweetSpot lineup, best, the DraftKings winning. Oh, I see. There is a tool I've been thinking about building that does show you kind of like in a table format, where it'll have the information off to the left with the points to the right, and then you'd be able to tell how often that happens. I will say this, AJ, how many events? Hold on, let me take a look. How many events do I have saved? 610 total events. That's how many events that I've saved. 610 events. Not all of them have salaries applied to them, so we'll cut it in half. Cut it in half and just say 300. I have 300 events that have salaries and lineups like recorded. Out of the 300, actually I should probably cut that even more, because I didn't start recording the GPP winning lineup until like 2022, 2021, and I've been recording the other lineups since 2018. So I guess we cut it in half even more. Let's just say out of 150 lineups, out of 150 events, the times that a GPP winning lineup beats a SweetSpot optimal is probably less than 10. So out of 150, less than 10, and that's being very, very conservative. I bet you I could say less than 5, and maybe even less than 3, or 3 or less. I think 3 is the magic number. I'm not positive. But yeah, it's something like that. It's a very small number. SweetSpot lineup usually always takes down the GPP. Okay. Let's see. What do we move on to? We don't talk about the review. We're gonna go into the bucket system. Let's do that. One of the updates that I've made to the website is fixing, because it needed to be fixed, the frequency numbers. Creating the correct formulas can be a pain in the butt sometimes. So yeah, that's what I worked on this week, is making sure these numbers are correct. And here's the thing, this is how we read this. You have to type in the tournament. You have to type in the tournament. It has to be pointed to a tournament for this to work. So obviously this week it's a worldwide technology. So what it does is it looks at each of these buckets. So last year ones are golfers who top 20 in last year's event. And so obviously in 2025, we're talking about 2024's results. In 2024, you're talking about 2023. I capture lead-in stats. That's what the bucket system is. You're capturing lead-in stats. And that's the best way to compare golfers in this field to golfers in previous fields. What stats matter? What stats matter? And that's what the bucket system does. It determines what stats matter. So how we read this, we look left to right. Top 10s are what I care about the most. So you see that as the first stat, like little category, little section. And you can see for last year ones, if I drill down on it, by the way, this whole thing's interactive. So if you want to, drill down on any of these things, go for it. Again, you can use the control with left click to select multiple things. But let's go last year ones. Golfers who top 20 the year before, a total of 29 of those golfers have finished inside the top 10 the next following year. We have a 100% frequency rate, which if you don't understand what frequency is, actually there's two ways to do frequency. The way that I'm doing frequency here is how often does it or how many years does it happen at least once? That's how my frequency works. How many years does it happen at least once? So when you see 100%, that means it's happened at least once every single year. And you can actually also see that in the min category right here under top 10 stats, and actually under any of the stats that say min. So 100% of the time, or 100% of the years, we've seen at least one golfer from the last year one bucket finish inside the top 10. So here we go. Here's the beautiful thing about this page. Again, SweetSpotDFS.com under the bucket system. This was the most challenging thing to build as of today, and one of the most rewarding things. Thank you, AJ. I'll do roll call a little bit later. So if I scroll down to last year ones, or if I scroll down on this page called the bucket system, the first thing you're going to get to are results with lead and bucket stats. So what has happened here is golfers. So I drilled down on this last year one bucket. What this does is it filters out every other tool underneath it. So if I go up here and I just deselect, oh, my bad. I gotta do the report. There we go. And we look right here. Let's focus on, yeah, Austin Eckroat was the winner last year. So just focus on Austin Eckroat. If I scroll back up and I drill down on this, we're only looking at last year ones because I'm drilling down on it. It acts as a filter. If I scroll down, you do not see, you don't see Austin Eckroat up there. You see Carson Young from 2024. He finished 9th the year before. So that means in 2023, he finished 9th place. That puts him in the last year one bucket. And so now all you see are golfers from the last year one bucket for each year. So this is 2024. You can see 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, so on and so forth. So you're seeing every golfer that was in the last year one bucket. And you can see their finishing places. All of them, not just top 10s. Like obviously this, we were looking at this section right here and we were like, oh, we're looking at top 10s. Okay, so in 2024, Carson Young was the one golfer that finished inside the top 10 that had a top 20 the year before. Now, another way to filter down on this is you've got these little report filters over here. So I put under finishing position, if we want to look at just the top 10s, go ahead and type top 10 in there, hit enter, and now we only see top 10s. So if you want to see the golfers that did finish inside the top 10 that had a top 20 the year before, you can see all that information here. You also can see all the other information that comes with the bucket system. Last week, course history, recent form, strokes gained bucket. But just focusing on the golfers' names. We had Carson Young last year, $7,200. Sam Ryder the year before, $7,600. Troy Merritt the year before that, $6,900. So just those three golfers, $7,600 and less. So it's like cheap. We're looking at cheap golfers. And by the way, not 2022, but 2023 and 2024, this tournament was played at El Cardenal, El Diamante, as opposed to El Camaleon. El Camaleon was played in 2022 and backwards. El Cardenal, which is the event or the golf course being played at for this event, this year and last year and the year before, so 2023 and on, it was just Sam Ryder and Carson Young, $7,000 golfers. So you can use that information however you'd like. If we go further back, now you get into these golfers that have higher salaries. We get Seamus Power in 2022, Scotty Scheffler also in 2022. Same with Victor Hovland, who had won the year before. This was Victor Hovland's tournament for a while because he did win in 2021 at $10,900. We look down. I mean, you're not really getting a lot of cheap golfers. 7,600, sure. Carlos Ortiz, Adam Long, 7,800, but then it's 8K and above. So you can use that information however you want, well, however you like. If we scroll down just a little bit, you can see some other cheap golfers that living in that 7 to 8K range. So I will say this, I don't have a way for you to look at this year's stats when it comes to the bucket system. I should say this, you can't look at this year's bucket system yet. I'm working on that still. However, you can actually go ahead and use either cheat sheet. You can use the cheat sheet that's provided on Google Sheets, or you can actually use the cheat sheet provided here. So again, I should put filters on here so we can just remove the golfers we don't want to see, but you can go ahead and apply this filter here onto last year. So we get 1 to 20, and it is color coded to make it easier for you to pay, to pay attention. And so we have Austin Eckroat, who won this event last year at $7,800. He's already in that zone, that price range of what we've seen in years past. We also have Justin Lauer, $7,200, $7,000 Carson Young, $9,800 Max Grazerman. Grazerman's my bet, and it might be easy because he's just been smoking hot this whole fall season when it comes to his success. But I'll call a spade a spade. Grazerman's good. Highsmith, 6,400. Probably pass on him. Don't really care. Garrett Kigo, 9,300. Don't mind him. Don't really care for him at the same time. Nico Echeverria, 8,500. So really, I kind of like these three golfers. I like Justin Lauer in the 7K range. I like Nico Echeverria in the 8K range, and I like Max Grazerman in the 9K range. But you can look at the rest of the golfers. You got Dumpy Bo down here at 7,600. Doug Gim. Doug Gim's a sneaky choice. Chandler Phillips, the mustache man, $6,800. Probably don't really care too much about Jacob Bridgman, although who knows? Byron, back 9 bets. He's the Jacob Bridgman whisperer. I haven't seen any of his stuff yet, so I don't know what he says about Bridgman. If he's on him, let's play Bridgman. But yeah, Echeverria, he's one of my choices. I like Echeverria. I like Grazerman. I like Lauer. And I don't mind playing a little bit of Austin Eckroat. Now, here's the other thing, too, with the bucket system. The beautiful thing I love about the bucket system, we still have the last year one, drilled down on. What do we see as the most common course history? We can just eyeball this. I should have, a stat page that shows you the percentage, or at least combo buckets. Combo buckets would be pretty sweet. I still have yet to work on that. We can look at the rest of these stats. Were they coming in with a really good course history? Actually, I can do it by this. Select bucket. So, no, you know what? We're going to sort. Let's sort. So let's go course history, top to bottom. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 instances where a golfer was coming in with good course history. Now, this is kind of misleading to some extent because Adam Long in 2020 was coming in with a course history of 2. Well, the year prior, he finished second. But that's also something you can take with you, because if your first time playing was last year and you got great course history, that actually is not a deterrent to say you could play good this year. So one hit wonder can be a 2-hit wonder at this event. Jason Bone looks like his course history was the same. 3rd place and course history of 3. The next following year, he did the same thing though, so the course history was a little bit different. Looks like Emiliano Grillo had 1 event. The same course history, same last year finish. Scotty Scheffler was different. Will McKenzie, yes. So, okay. Listen. Half of these that have good course history, like 20th place or better on average, half of them was their second time playing. They had these stats. So what I could do is go back to here and pretty much line up what was their last year's score and what's their course history. If it's the same number, it's a pretty good indicator that's their first time playing. So Grazerman, Highsmith, Nico Echeverria, and Patrick Fishburne. Looks like these were their first times playing. Same with Chandler Phillips down there. Was last year playing this event. So I don't even know how many golfers I have in total. I should actually put a little count down here. Yeah, great things to try to remember to do. I don't know if I'll actually get there, but we'll try. See, it's 20. How many did we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right down to that screen. So Victor Hovland, 11,200. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That's 1/3. Nearly 1/3. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. It'd probably be like 1/6. Because again, it's half. Half of the golfers here with good course history have only played once. So if I was to do that, if I was cutting that up, I know this is going to sound weird, but if I was cutting that up, I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1/6 of that. So it's at least one of those golfers. I have a good feeling that they're going to finish inside the top 10. That's pretty good. If you're making a player pool, select at least one of those golfers to be in your lineup. And maybe just one. You know, if you had to create a rule on a website to say only one of these guys, I think that's fine. Sounds like actually a pretty smart idea. It makes me really like Grazerman and Echeverria, and I probably won't play them together. Because again, if we go to the bucket system, and we kind of try to look for the same years, actually let's sort by year. Oh, here's a little fun fact. You can actually shift by year, or I'm sorry. So sort by year, hold the shift button down and go course history. And shape it into the best course history. There we go. We have it shaped in the best course history right now. It's not really telling us anything. 2020 Adam Long. The golfers near him. We're looking at last year and course history. There's just one of them. That's it. So again, I'm searching for these golfers that have the same last year score as their course history. Wow. I'm not seeing anybody. Are they all down here? They're all down here. The ones that I was looking at. So way long ago. Trying to keep this on one page for you guys to see. Okay, Jason Bone was down here in 2014 with Will McKenzie. So there were two golfers that did it there. And that was like the first year though that I had data. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with it. Just choose one of those 6 golfers, put it in your lineup, and go from there. That's the best way to go. And I know there's been some time between what I just said and now, but the golfers that I was talking about: Grazerman, Highsmith, Nico Echeverria, Fishburne, Chandler Phillips, and Jacob Bridgman. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total golfers. Again, Grazerman, Highsmith, Echeverria, Fishburne, Bridgman, Chandler Phillips. Select one of them. I got no issue with that. I think that's going to be somewhat simple. So anyways, I did say I didn't really want to spend too much time on this video. I could talk for hours about the bucket system and all the things you can do on it. The one thing I want to leave you guys with is just how to analyze it. You know, we're looking at top 10 stats, like I was telling you guys. Frequency rate is how many years has it happened at least once. How many years has a golfer from that bucket, whatever bucket you're looking at, how many years has it produced a golfer inside the top 10? That's essentially what that frequency rate is. So 100% means at least once. It's done it at least once for every year that I've recorded the data. So you can use those frequency percentages. And oh, by the way, you can sort by this. It's going to look a little messy because you're going to have like all these different buckets from all over the place. So we can sort however you guys want to sort. If you want to go back to what it looked like before, can you actually clear the columns and it switches? It does. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping it was going to do. So anyways, you can go ahead, sort, and then hit the eraser button to bring it back. Or I believe, oh, nope, that's the only way you can do it. Never mind. I was going to say there should be another way to do it, but nope. It's the only way. Hit the eraser button. So you can look at all the 100% frequency rates. Success rate is looking at all of the golfers from that bucket, all of them. How often have they been in, have they been inside the top 10? That's what the success rate means. Out of all the golfers from that bucket, all of them, every single one, how many of them finished inside the top 10? I don't have it for optimal lineup. I don't have it for top 5 or top 20. Top 5 in optimal would be kind of silly because you're going to see numbers like 1.3% or, 2%. It would just be stupid. But looking at top 10s, that's a high number. So if we look at success rate, what is your most successful? It's 10K golfers. It's the salary buckets. I don't think, can I actually filter out by salary buckets? Do I have it? Ooh, I do. You can. If you hit the little bucket right here and we select everything except for salary, that's how you can remove it from the list. And now we're looking at everything but salary. And so success rate 22.5 for strokes gained 1 golfers. Strokes gained 1 golfers. You won't be able to see that on the website. You will have to use the Google Sheet cheat sheet. And the easy way to do this, go up there, put a filter on it, and sort A to Z right here for strokes gained. And you can find the golfers that are in this list. And of course, if you went back to the website and you select strokes gained 1 and we scroll down to see which golfers those were that finished inside the top 10, again, changing finishing position, we can see, I'm also going to sort by year. You can see all the golfers that are right here. Most of them are 10K golfers. $7,600 Carlos Ortiz. $7,700 Carlos Ortiz. Everyone is 8,000 and above, besides Carlos Ortiz. That's my Nico Echeverria, by the way. They're not the same. Are they the same? Yeah, I think they are the same nationality. No, is Echeverria Argentinian? I feel like I should know this. No, he's Colombian or Venezuelan. That's what he is. So not quite the same. But anyways, $8,300 Adam Hadwin, $8,900 Brian Harmon. Those are short ball hitters. Everyone else is kind of a long ball hitter. So 10K. 10K is the most common stat that I see out of this. So if we went back to the cheat sheet, I think we're going to see what, Ben Griffin up top. 10,500 Ben Griffin. Actually, everyone's in play except for Lee Hodges, basically. So yeah. Those are all your strokes gained 1 golfers. 5 of them. 5 of them, and what's our percentage? 75% frequency rate. I think we're okay. If you wanted to go with that, that's fine. Recent form 1s is another one. Recent form 1. Oh no, by the way, you can see what their optimal lineup frequencies are. 0 to 2, 0 to 1. Kind of tells you like what your expectation should be of that bucket to have like an optimal lineup golfer. This is insane. 2 to 4 recent form 2 golfers have been in, or I should say every year in the optimal lineup, at least 2 golfers from recent form 2 has been inside the optimal lineup, has been in the optimal lineup. Again, you can go and look at that by scrolling down. kind of looking at each of the golfers. It won't tell you who's in the optimal lineup. Although that would be sweet. I should probably add that as a thing. Maybe I will do that. I kind of want to do that. I want to be able to see who is in the optimal lineup, who is in the GPP winning lineup. That was a button I was going to actually put in there. It was going to be bucket IDs, raw stats, fantasy stats, and strokes gains. Okay, I'll do that. I'll build that at some point in time, because that I do want to know that information. But anyways, if we take a look at recent Form 2s, again, go to the cheat sheet. And this time we're just going to clear everything out and just select recent Form 2s. And I'm going to sort from top to bottom. Yeah, Rico Hoey is your top guy. It's pretty good. Michael Thorbjornsen, the next one. And then it kind of just gets into your 7K range. I mean, Jesper Svensson is $8,000, but Vince Whaley is a good choice. Perez, Matty Schmid. I really, really like Matty Schmid. I think the optimizer is going to really like or Matty Schmid as well as Vince Whaley. So we'll probably just go with that. Frankie Sappin down there at $6,200. I think he's finally coming around to being the golfer that Rick Run Good wanted him to be. He's actually playing. He played really good golf at I think it was the Zozo, or I'm sorry, the Bay Current, and then he also didn't do so bad at the Bank of Utah Championship. So anyways, that is how, or those are ways to use the bucket system however you like. Again, hitting the little clear all filters, that removes all of the filters you've put on it. So many things you can do, man. So many things you can do. All right, roll call. Who's your winner? Roll call for by the way, okay, so I think the RSM Classic is going to be the last event that I'm going to stream. So at the RSM Classic, I think I'm going to do a few giveaways. One of them will be the monthly giveaway, so that obviously will go to this. But yeah, if you want an entry into this giveaway, roll call number 1. And I'm going to go ahead and clear out the monthly giveaway winners because we already did. Who's your winner this week? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me, tell me, tell me. That bored all you guys? No answers? Okay. Well, you guys can post it in there. I don't know if you guys are behind, but I'm gonna move on. We're gonna go into the marquee tee times. Okay. You guys can follow along to figure out what the marquee tee times are. If you don't know what those are at home, basically I'm looking at the top 9 groups, and I'm trying to pick 2 to 4 golfers from these groups. I'm not trying to pair them up with golfers in their own group. So 2 to 4, and basically 2 to 4 groups, 1 golfer in those groups you want to select. So group 1, it's Ben Griffin, JJ Spawn, William Mao. Group 2, Michael Brennan, Wyndham Clark, Keith Mitchell. Group 3, Nick Taylor, Echeverria Bridgman. Group 4 is Michael Thorbjornsen, Thorbjorn Olesen. We got the Thunder Bears in there. And Henrik Norlander. It's so funny. Henrik Norlander is a Swede. Thorbjorn Olesen is a Dane. And Michael Thorbjornsen is an American. But that name is very Scandinavian. Thorbjornsen. Jesper Svensson Vince Whalen, Carson Young, group 5. Rico Hoey, Sam Ryder, Justin Lauer, group 6. That's a great group. Derek Higo, Austin Eckroat, EVR is group 7. Group 8, Max Grazerman, Chandler Phillips, Paul Peterson. And the last group, group 9, is Max McGreevy, Eric Cole, and Grayson Sigg. So here's what I'll say. When we look, so these are the 9 groups, right? If you like Ben Griffin, you don't play JJ Spawn or William Mao. It'd be difficult to anyways for JJ Spawn. If you like Ben Griffin, we are not putting William Mao with them. Likewise, if we come down to someone more affordable, if you want to live in the 8K range and pepper the 8K range, you wouldn't put Nico Echeverria with Nick Taylor or Jacob Bridgman. Do not play all 3 of them together. That's a death sentence. Not really a death sentence. You're just not going to win any money. If you like one of them, perfect. So personally, I really like Nico Echeverria this week, and I also really like Ben Griffin this week. Perfect. I've selected my 2 golfers. They're not playing together. That fits the Marquee Tee Time rules, or guidelines if you want to call them that, but honestly, rules. And if I wanted to add a 3rd golfer in there somewhere, I mean, I could add AJ Love's Garrett Higo, can I? Yeah, we can add him right here, $9,300. So we can go Ben Griffin at 10.5, Higo at 93, and Echeverria at 10.5, or 8.5, sorry. Seems like a pretty solid lineup build to me to start off with, those 3 golfers. If I didn't like Higo, I could go like Sam Ryder, which I also know AJ Love likes. You could also put all 4 of those guys together, Griffin, Echeverria, Higo, and Sam Ryder, and go from there. That's 4 golfers. That's the most I would ask you to grab from the Marquee Tee Times. But I'm pretty comfortable just grabbing those 2 and basically letting the optimizer do its job, which I failed to realize. By the way, the shortest Marquee Tee Time segment in the world right there. One thing I failed to realize, if you go to SweetSpotDFS.com and you go down to Fantasy Tools Optimizer, you can request the optimizer this way. I'm going to be building lineups with the optimizer after the page loads, but this is what it looks like. You'll get a prompt. It says, hey, SweetSpotDFS Optimizer, your email here. Type in your email here, hit request now. It gets sent to me. I get an email. They get sent to me. I then send it to you. And it requires me to see it. So if I don't see it, I apologize. It's not going to get to you very fast. But I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But yeah, that's how you get the optimizer. And this is what the optimizer looks like. Ba-dow. Right here. It uses all of the rules for the bucket system that I have, which I forgot. We normally look at this page, don't we, when we go over the bucket system? I forgot. This has our projections in there, which in the future I will have on the website. I just don't have it right now. But yes, you can see right here. What all the bucket projections are. And this is also on the cheat sheet, by the way. Totally forgot about that. Anyways, all these bucket projections right here, they are in the optimizer, or they're on the optimizer right here. So when I was saying we can start with Ben Griffin and Nico Echeverria, what the optimizer will do is when you hit run optimizer, it'll go through all of the rules that we have, including down here, the Marquee Tee Times. This is the Marquee Tee Time section. It says 2 to 4 golfers. We don't want to play more than 1 from each of the groups. That's what we have. So if I hit run optimizer with those 2 golfers locked in, I'm going to get a lineup. That looks pretty good. It's got the assassin, Rio Assassine in there. That's awesome. He will never, I mean, he is the golfer of 2025 on SweetSpot DFS. Like, he shows up so much, and I gotta do this for the assassin. But that's how you would use the optimizer. And then if I didn't like that, you're gonna see Rio's gonna get cut with the little N right here. So we'll get a new golfer. We get a bunch of new golfers. Mitchell, Echeverria, Whaley, Hodges. Well, if we don't like that one, we just hit run optimizer again, see what the new one is. We get Michael Brennan. Vince Whaley. Yeah. Good value, $7,700. Patrick Fishburne. So you remember how I was saying earlier, selecting one golfer that finished inside the top 20 the year before, that also only had 1 year's worth of course history. You want to select one of those guys? I've got two of them here. I got Nico and I got Fishburne. So if I'm locking in Nico, I'll say this. If you're building a lot of lineups, it's fine to select, you know, to like save this lineup. But if I'm not building a lot of lineups, I kind of want to cross out each of those golfers. And in fact, the easy way to do that is just go up here, select one, last year one, because that's going to be Nico Echeverria. I already know this from memory. We talked about it earlier, but I do that. And now it builds me a whole different lineup. I got Griffin, Brennan, Echeverria, Perez, Roy, and Taylor Montgomery. I don't like Taylor Montgomery. Y'all know this, but there is a time that golfer is going to get back to being somewhat good. And at $7,100, it's a pretty good value. So, this isn't a bad lineup to save. I don't mind Victor Perez. Could do worse. I do like Michael Brennan quite a bit. But yeah, that is how you can use the optimizer with the bucket system and the marquee tee times. So that being said, I did see AJ Love post his golfer in here, so I'll put his name right there. I don't see anyone else, which is how the fall series goes. All right, AJ, you got any lineups? Are you even caught up with the stream? Are you behind because you put in your name late? Hope you saw me go, oh, no one wants to answer. All right, moving on. That was an indication that people are not caught up. So I'm wondering if you're caught up. Would you like lineups built? If not, I can go ahead and build some myself. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have a members only stream tomorrow night. If Joanne's in the chat, she can tell me. If she wants one, we'll do one. If not, I don't think we will. Or maybe we will. I don't know. I'm going to be building lineups tomorrow night anyways, so I might as well stream while doing it. Higo, Griffin, Ryder. Okay. Sounds good. Griffin, Higo, Ryder. Oh. Oh, the golfers that I put together. I like that. I like that. Griffin, Higo. And Sam UL Ryder. 76, right? No. He's in the 70. There he is. I found him. 74. Okay. I will build 10 lineups for you, since you're the only one participating. We go with Griffin, Higo, Cootie, Pearson Cootie, which I don't hate. Sam Ryder, Kevin Roy, and the Assassin. That's a really good lineup. I like that lineup quite a bit. Next one is Griffin, Higo, Keith Mitchell, Victor Perez, Sam Ryder, and Davis Riley. Could be worse, honestly. Could do worse. I don't mind Davis Riley. Lineup 3 is Ben Griffin, Higo, Jesper Svensson, Stephen Fisk, Sam Ryder, and Taylor Montgomery. These are 3 good lineups already. Griffin Higo, Matt Wallace, love it. Whaley, love that with these guys. Ryder and Valimaki. This is my favorite lineup so far. Here, I haven't done this in a very long time. That lineup deserves one of these, man. Because it's a sexy lineup. That's why. A great lineup. All right, next lineup. Griffin Higo, Grillo, Sam Ryder, Eric Cole, Taylor Moore. I like it outside of Taylor Moore, but this is going to be one of those events that Taylor Moore could play well. You never know. Higo, Griffin, U, 1099, Ryder, Ventura, and Paul Peterson. I really like Chris Ventura. Paul Peterson rated out really well at the Bank of Utah Championship. And I want to say day 1 or 2 or something like that. He was up at the top of the leaderboard for a short time. From my memory. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was. So I don't mind it. Paul Peterson, we'll call him a gamer. Lineup 7 is Griffin, Michael Thorbjornsen, Garrick Higo, Sam Ryder, Andrew Putnam, and Jeremy Paul. Sure. Y'all, it's like I always think of... oh, what's his name? Oh my god, dude. I always think of the song of Jeremy's growing. Yeah. I actually forgot the lyrics, so I just made them up. Who sings that? Eddie something, right? His band is his I don't remember. I know this is sacrilegious, but my bad. Lineup 8. Griffin, Higo, Svensson, Hubbard, Ryder, and Ricky Castillo. Yes. That's another one that deserves one of these, man. Oh, yeah. It's a sexy lineup. Sexy lineup. These are really good lineups. Lineup 9. Griffin, Higo, Takumi Kanaya, who I'm a fan of. He almost won me some decent money at the Bank of Utah Championship. Vince Whaley, Sam Ryder, and Ben Cole. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. Eddie Vedder. There it is. Pearl Jam. Ah. I was so close. I'm thinking of Eddie Van Halen. That's what Van Halen was. Eddie Vedder. Pearl Jam. Yeah. Yep. My bad. Oh, a Frankie Sappin sighting with Steven. Dude. This lineup here is pretty baller. Griffin, Higo, U Fisk, Ryder, and Sappin. Dude. I'm actually going to save that one for myself. I'm putting it in a lineup somewhere. That one is dynamite. Those are really good lineups. If you're playing, I hope you use all 10 of those lineups. Put them in the dime time. Put $1 into the dime time. Tell me how these 10 lineups do, because they're fantastic. Those are fantastic lineups. All right. I think we're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it there, though. That's good enough for me. I hope it's good enough for you guys. I only have one participant in the chat, which is absolutely fine. It's a fall series event. I'm just always gonna stream these things, you know, even if there's very few viewers. It's fine. You throw them all in with your $5. Love it. I mean, they're great lineups. I like those lineups a lot, especially if that core hits, which it's not a bad core. It's a pretty good core. All right, guys, if you need to reach me, you can contact me through email, sweetspotdfs@gmail.com. Contact me on X, Twitter, SweetSpotDFS there. You can also contact me on Instagram. I don't really pay attention to that often, but you can certainly message me there if that's your only mode of communication. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys, and that's gonna be it for me. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.